Welcome to the Oakley Podcast, Trucking, Business, and Family. This show is brought to you by Oakley Trucking, headquartered in North Little Rock, Arkansas. The purpose of this podcast is to communicate with Oakley owner-operators and their families by giving them up-to-date information concerning Oakley Trucking and the trucking industry, from business advice to safety updates to success stories. Also to give an insight to outside truck drivers that might be interested in joining the Oakley family. This is episode 9. On today's podcast, we're going to talk to Todd, Venable, branch manager at MHC Kenworth here in Little Rock, Arkansas. And we also have Mike Donnely, the service manager at MHC Kenworth here out of Little Rock. We're going to talk to them about their facilities, some of the discounts, promotions, things they got going on over there, how we partner up with MHC and Oakley Trucking. Also give you some tips and maybe on getting into your own truck and what's out there on the market. But first, before I get to these guys, I've got a few things I want to talk about. One, we've been discussing, everybody's asking about orientation, and we have not opened up orientation yet. Now, it's coming pretty soon. Everybody wants to know a date, and I just don't have it. We're monitoring the freight. We're letting that push orientation when we start leasing trucks back on, because as you guys know, it's been slow with all this pandemic going on, and we want to take care of our own first. So as soon as we feel comfortable with that, the freight's pushing everything, we'll start leasing guys back on. And you guys that are listening out there that are waiting for orientation, man, I appreciate you being patient and touching base with us every week or two. We're going to get to you, I promise. So I also recommend listening to some past episodes that we're doing. This is great information that we've been doing on some of these episodes with this new podcast, and it especially to our Oakley owner-operators. You guys need to tune into this and go. If you haven't listened to all the episodes, you need to go back and listen. Got some great, from the first one we did with the history to, what's going on with the office and the wash bay, to Toby Bishop in the shop, to, a success story with an owner-operator. Just a lot of good things. I encourage you to go back and listen to them best you can. Speaking of the new office, it's coming up probably about, I'm getting worried about the middle of June. That thing's going to be opened up, man. It's looking good. It's beautiful over there, and we're going to be able to get in it, hopefully middle of June, something like that, and that is going to be a blessing for all of us. I am so looking forward to that. So now let's get on with the podcast here, this episode with Todd and Mike. So first of all, I have had, and Oakley has had, a long-standing relationship with MHC Kenworth since when I was hired, a long time ago. We've just had a great relationship for 25 plus years, and I got two good guys in here with me to talk about the history and talk about the future with MHC and Oakley Trucking. So first, Todd Venable, how you doing this morning, Todd? You doing all right?
Doing really good.
Give us a little history on you and what you do over there.
Okay. Well, first of all, I'd like to say thank you for allowing us to be a part of this program. And so with that in mind, I've been with the company 28 years. I've done several different jobs. I started out selling trucks, worked through the parts department, inventory control, managed parts departments. Been here in Little Rock for 22 years. Running the branch is my main responsibility, so I oversee the whole operation. So it's been fun. I call Little Rock my home. I'm originally from Springfield, Missouri.
Okay.
But I've raised my kids here in Little Rock, and this is where I plan on being from here on out. So, man, it's been a good run, and really the company's taken care of me. And so, man,
they got a good reputation.
Yeah.
MHC got a good reputation.
Does.
What about service-wise, Mr. Mike Donnelly? How about you? Give us a little history on you.
Well, I started at the old Kenworth of Arkansas in 1979, and born and raised in Little Rock.
Well, that dates you.
It does, and in a good way too, because when I got into business, our core customers across the country, not just for Little Rock, but nationwide, were 1 to 15 trucks. So I grew up, if you put it that way, dealing with owner-operators. I like dealing with owner-operators. And so with the exception of 5 years where I went to Brand X and I was serviced 2 years over there in truck sales for 3. Other than that, I've been on the service side with Kenworth.
Okay, that's what you know is
That's
service,
what I know. Yep.
providing service to truck drivers, owner operators, companies, whatever.
Yeah, we're 724 and been that way a long time, and we deal with customers' problems.
Yeah, I can remember when I was hired on here at Oakley back in '94, and the guy that was here, the recruiter at that time, he had actually had a relationship with John Knapp over there at MHC Kenworth all the time, which I met him, and then we've just kept it going off and on there for all these years, just and it's been a great relationship. I mean, over the years, so it's not like it's anything new, and I sure am proud of it and glad we got it. So, give us I guess let's touch base and see what all do you guys offer over there. Maybe that's something our owner operators need to know, or something that you offer that maybe they wouldn't know about.
Well, I put it this way: we fix trucks and we sell trucks.
Okay.
And so everything in between. So we've actually got 6 departments here in Little Rock. So we've got a service department. So that's open 7 days a week, 24 hours, and it fixes trucks. And it's not just Kenworth trucks that we can work on. And I'll let Mike elaborate on that a little bit more later on. We have a mobile maintenance department. So that's ran through our service as well. So if we've got a customer that's out and about that needs it and they can't get the truck to us, we'll go to them. So that's what that's all about. We have a full service parts department, all makes parts. Again, we're not just selling,
not just Kenworth,
not pushing parts for just Kenworth. We've got an all makes program that we can sell parts for just about any make of vehicle there is. We have a body shop. And a new and used truck department as well. So there's not anything that we really can't offer a customer on the back end as far as what our company offers. Big picture wise, we've got our own finance company. So if you come to us looking for a truck, we've got financing that we can put together for you. We also do factoring if that's something that you might need. And so what we try to do, we've got leasing, we've got rental. So what we try to do with our customers, Jeremy, is just make it to where it's a one-stop shop. And if you come to see us, there's really not anything else that you need that we can't provide.
Right. It sounds like you've got it all covered.
Yep.
Because you don't realize, I guess, that you guys got a body shop and you get parts for all makes and models. And
well, in the body shop, for example, we'll paint anything. We've got a flyer going right now where we're painting farm implements.
I'll be dang.
With what we've got going on with business,
we're
trying to attract any kind of business we can to work. So we'll do anything. We do alignments. Right now we're focusing on school buses and doing alignments for school buses. But as far as Oakley's concerned, every truck needs an alignment. We can do that.
Okay.
So it's not just if you wreck your truck, we can fix it. There's a lot of other things that the body shop can offer as well.
Yeah, that's good. And not a lot of people think about that, I guess, on what all is offered at a place. And that is that offered at all the MHCs?
Yeah.
Or are they all different in their own?
So there's a little bit different take on all the MHCs. Not every MHC location has a body shop. Most of them do. But they'll do just about anything, just like we are. All of them are focused really to whatever the industry is that's in their market. For example, Oklahoma City, they really concentrated on the oil market until this recently happened. So it kind of depends on what goes in the market, but we pretty much do anything.
Yeah, the main thing to keep in mind is make our phone ring, because there's a lot of options that we would be interested in doing that you might not associate with a dealership. You think a dealership, they sell something and they service what they sell, but outside of that, we're not really there for them. But I run 724 operation, and it takes a lot to feed that thing.
I bet it does.
So, we want the phone to ring. We want someone to partner up with us. And, I've got a John Deere tractor coming in the shop this morning for an alternator. Okay.
A little unusual.
It is, but I mean, that's just the way of the world. I mean, if it's mechanical, if we can work on it, we're going to get in the middle of it, and it's an opportunity for us, and it's a service to the customer. They're needing something done. We can do it, so why not?
So how do you distinguish, or do you distinguish between company trucks and owner-operators when they come in for service?
Okay. What I try to do is schedule work out instead of in. Okay. I think the perception of a dealership is that you would bring your truck there, ride it up, and park it, and they might get to it that day, or it might be later in the week, and they would get back with you. I understand and accept that truck is not supposed to be there. It's supposed to be somewhere else. And if I'm going to have an opportunity to do business with that gentleman, I've got to react to his needs. So what we try to do is figure out what the customer's needs are. If he has some time to put the truck in line, if you will, we're good with that. If he doesn't, we want to know that too, because there are always options, always options. We've got some trucks in the shop that, frankly, we may have a little bit of lead time on, to where a guy shows up and he's got an alternator out, or he's got something that he needs us to plug into real quick and check.
So they're not all in a hurry then. You got some, I mean,
Correct.
You would think most of them are all in a hurry. I need this fixed right now and get on out of here. But I guess you need them to share their position with you.
Exactly.
So you can make adjustments on your end. So you're able to do that in the service department? Okay.
Absolutely. The analogy I like to use is like an emergency room. Okay. You're going to show up there, and they're going to communicate with you, and they're going to find out what's going on, and they're going to work with you to meet your expectations on that. And that's what really works for us. You know, I'm a terrible customer. Okay. If I show up somewhere and I don't quite get the feedback I need, I don't say anything. I just don't go back.
Right.
Which is terrible. Okay. So I see that in myself. So I try to encourage our customers, man, just feel absolutely comfortable making my phone ring personally. Or if I'm not there, have the service advisor call me. Anything that I can do to help facilitate that, to where they're comfortable saying, hey, this doesn't work for me. I'm supposed to be here tomorrow, or this pricing, or whatever the issue is. I'm just trying desperately with customers all the time to get them to feel comfortable speaking what their deal is, because owner-operators, to me, are independent businessmen. I consider a fleet to be one or more trucks.
Right.
Okay? So they're all fleet owners as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. And they, I know they sat around their kitchen tables to decide to become an owner-operator, and they weighed out the risks and benefits, and they obviously chose the benefit side of it. Well, the risks are still there. And if they can partner up with somebody, I don't want to shoot myself in the foot, but maybe that's not me. But on the maintenance side, it's so critical now because the things are so complex, the check engine lights. You know, it used to, a guy back, I'm dating myself again, but back in the old days, if you will, they could put a business plan together based on, rods and mains at $250,000, an overhaul at $500,000, tires, fuel, services, an alternator, starter, and pretty well hit the nail on the head every year as far as what maintenance was going to cost them. Now the reality is all those guys are facing, I've got a check engine light on my dash, and somebody's going to charge me $1,500 to make it go out and then come back on 2 states over. That, I can't imagine being in that guy's shoes, So when that check engine light comes on, I know it's like nails on a chalkboard,
Yes.
So when they come in there, we've got the information, and it's like going to the emergency room. You want it to be something small, and sometimes it's bigger, but you're still the guy. You're still someone that they trust, and someone that they're willing to give a little bit of leeway to check it out, and then try to come up with a game plan that works for everybody. So
right.
That's
well,
good.
and the communication part is the key there to me. So, I'm assuming, and I know this, I'm not assuming, but all your guys you have working under you have this same mentality, and y'all have preached that to them to, hey, we've got to know whether this is a heart attack or this is a
Yep.
a scratch on the knee type deal here. We got to find that out, and then we can proceed. And I know you got good people working over there. You had, Jamie White's been over there
Sure.
for 20 plus years. Y'all got a bunch of other good guys.
Sure.
So
We do, and you bring up an excellent point. And I have been fighting this my whole career. Anytime I've had people working for me, you try to share your vision and your strategies in business and how you want things handled, and just having a one-on-one conversation. Sometimes things are misconstrued, and so it happens to where a customer may be in front of someone, and there is an issue. Again, I still got to make sure that the customer is absolutely comfortable managing up with my people as far as saying, hey, get a hold of Mike. Okay. I'm available 7/24. I'm not there 7/24, but running a 7/24 operation, if there's an issue that I can put to bed, I want my phone to ring.
right, right.
So my people are absolutely comfortable calling me 7/24. I don't get that many calls in the middle of the night or anything like that. I'm not saying that, but I am saying if a customer comes in, and particularly Oakley Trucking, this is a big deal to us. Okay, I mean, this is a big deal. So if Oakley Trucking, someone shows up and they say, hey man, this isn't moving fast enough for me, I need to talk to somebody, I'm there. So I hope all my people handle it just like they should every day. But if they don't, I still want my phone to ring.
So I'm glad you said that about Oakley owner-operator. So what benefit do they have being an Oakley owner-operator compared to any other owner-operator that pulls up out there? I mean,
Well, I can take that, Jeremy. So, number one, we've got an account set up that is an Oakley owner-operator account. And so we look at that account as if you're one big fleet, even though it's one truck that might come in and it's owner-operator. So we have service discounts, labor discounts based on that. So all the drivers need to say when they come into an MHC location is, I'm with Oakley Trucking, and then we'll put that account in, and then it'll offer up the service
and
discounts.
they need to know the account, though, don't they? We've got a bunch of those key.
Mike's got one in his hand.
Yeah.
What does it say?
Account 43,200.
There you go. And we've got a bunch of those out here that we been given to, of course, new guys when we were releasing them on, but there's a lot of guys that don't have those. So that is something that they need, and that's MHC anywhere.
That's correct. That's across our whole network. We're from North Carolina all the way to New Mexico, Iowa, almost to Chicago, Illinois, all the way down to Waco, Texas.
So, Todd, explain this then, because I get this a lot. What is the discount? And I know that's got to be. It's not just one cut and dry.
Correct
amount. I mean,
so we base it off of a percentage. And so every market's different when it comes to what they charge their door rate on. And so it's off the door rate. It's a significant discount, and they'll recognize that. Bigger than that, we offer up parts discounts across our whole dealership network. Little Rock controls that pricing. So we feel like have the heartbeat of Oakley, if you will. Yep. So we work the discounts on the parts side out of Little Rock, and all of the MHC locations have that exact same discount. So if you buy an alternator from Little Rock and it's $220, it's going to be $220 no matter where you go MHC.
Okay.
So that's the other phase of the discounting structure where we try to fold in the parts pricing as well.
But the best scenario is get it at MHC in Little Rock.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
That's because, we're right here. We've been partners on. We know you're over there. A guy can tell me, hey, I don't think I got a discount. I can call Mike and go, hey, so-and-so truck number didn't get a discount. Check on it. We've done that before.
We have.
Yes, right.
We've done that before.
Yeah. And the other thing, part of that, as far as dealing with Little Rock, the account means so much to us here locally because of the proximity to us and the opportunity that we have with all the trucks coming in and out of here, that when a customer comes in there, we do have the discount set up. But here's an added caveat, if you will, for dealing with MHC Kenworth and Little Rock anytime you can, is when the truck comes in there, if we've still got some work to do on that pricing, I'm going to do it. Okay, I understand and accept that other people can work on trucks besides me. Okay, so there's a lot of independent shops out that can do some of the work that we do, some of the work we have to take on because of the complexity and the training and stuff. But there's a lot of jobs out there that you may take an alternator or a clutch job or a brake job or an AC work to someone else. And for me, realistically, to have an opportunity to do that job, I have to be competitive. And the discounts I have set up might not be competitive with the current guy that they're considering taking it to. So again, that's where I want my phone to ring. There's always options. And I would love the opportunity to be able to talk with a gentleman and say, hey, I know you're thinking about taking it somewhere else, but I'd like an opportunity to try to quote this deal, or hey, maybe I can quote it, maybe I can get on it tonight instead of tomorrow. If I could just have those options, man, that just makes all the difference.
Well, a lot of people will pay up for quality and time.
Yep. Yeah.
If you can get the time is a big deal about it.
Yeah.
You get it done in a timely manner. They don't mind paying.
And that's why we're 724 and have been for a long time. The only one in the area that is, and it's been good for business for us. Sometimes you in the middle of the night you wonder sometimes, but then we really get busy. It's feast or famine sometimes. I can't predict when a truck's going to break down, and then it may be slow, and then all of a sudden we've got a ton of trucks broke down, and then we're trying to figure out how we're going to get them all in.
Yeah, get them all done then.
Right.
Hurry up.
Right. And so we get a lot of business in off the interstate, but if an Oakley truck shows up, they're a home store for us, home store customer for us. Yeah. So that brings something else to the table as far as saying, no, come on, let's work something out for Oakley.
Yeah, good. So they need to. That's our owner operators. You guys listening, y'all need to make sure when you go to MHC that they know you are with Oakley. You have the account number with that keychain, or let them know for sure. We're sitting here with Todd Venable and Mike Donnely of MHC Kenworth here in Little Rock, Arkansas, getting some good information from these guys on what's taking place and our partnership with them that we just deal with all the time, and it's been a great relationship. Let's get to real quick. Let's get off of service and let's talk about some trucks and what we've got going on with as far as used trucks, new trucks. We get a lot, Todd. We get a lot of people, first time owner operators, and we get a lot of guys trading trucks. A lot of our owner operators are already here working. They're always looking to upgrade. I mean, they do it every week. Somebody's trading trucks, more than typically 2 or 3 a week. So, what can our owner operators? I guess what can you guys offer them, and then also what can you offer the first time owner operator that's never had a truck, been a company driver?
So, I think I'm going to answer it like this. We try to put the person with the truck as well as the finance. So we've got all kinds of finance sources. When I said that MHC has their own finance company, if we can't put the deal together correct for the customer based on his credit, maybe there's a down payment issue, maybe there's another challenge with him buying the truck, we source out to other finance companies.
Okay.
So we just try to get the best deal for the driver. That's what our goal is, just to try to get the best deal for the driver. So that's kind of how we figure out the finance portion of the program. With that in mind, there comes with what truck fits that. So is it a $50,000 truck? Is it a brand new truck? Is warranty a big issue with the driver? Is that a need that he's going to have? Is it a fact that he's a Freightliner guy and wants to buy a Freightliner? Well, I sell Freightliners as well on the used side. So that's all we try to do. We try to put the driver with the right truck, with the right finance program that fits his payment needs, his down payment structure that he's going to have. And of course, trades come into play there. We love trades. We've got to have those in order to sell to the next guy. So we're always open to trades.
What's the used truck market like right now?
It's tough. Financing is still good in terms of there's some good rates out there. Some of the finance companies have kind of squeezed down just a little bit, but we've still got financing that we're doing. We're actually have a lot of activity, and that's because there's a lot of people that are like we are, where we are cutting some pretty good deals in order to move some trucks. In this times, you just got to start moving equipment. And, so you kind of like Mike was talking about, hey, make my phone ring and tell me what the deal is. We're going to work with you. We've got all kinds of deals like that.
So there's a lot of used trucks
there's
out
a
there
lot
to choose from now.
There is, and we're really lucky with MHC because we've got a lot of trade packages that we're still taking in. And so we do business with...
Explain what that means.
So...
trade packages
across MHC, we have if it's a fleet that we are selling trucks to, we'll have a fleet. Their trade packages come in, so it'll be a like truck for, say there's 10 of them, 20 of them, 50 of them of a similar like truck. But the beauty of it is you can deal with Randy McCormick in Little Rock, Arkansas, and no matter if the truck's sitting in Kansas City, Omaha, Nebraska, Oklahoma City, Texas, Tulsa, wherever, Randy can sell that truck.
So I'm flipping through the truck paper or wherever or the internet, and I see a truck that I like, and it's at MHC in Omaha or in Nebraska, wherever. I need to call Randy in Little Rock, right?
That's exactly right.
Okay.
And there is no difference in price. We manage the deal just as if the truck was sitting in Little Rock. Sometimes it's more beneficial because we'll have a driver that's maybe in Nashville, and that's where his home base is, and he finds a truck there at the Nashville store, and you can deal with Randy, and he can put the deal together, and we can take the trade in Little Rock or Nashville, whichever way works. We just try to accommodate the drivers and make it as easy as possible for them to get in their next truck.
Yeah, I think that's an assumption is, hey, the truck's out there, I got to call that place.
Yes.
Which is not the way to do it. I mean, if you want a relationship with MHC, I'd get the one. If you're with Oakley, I'd get the one right here in Little Rock.
Right.
And you can get a truck anywhere. So that would be the...
Well, actually, too, on the truck side of it, Randy's familiar with your applications over here. So there are some trucks in our inventory that will work better than others. Mm-hmm. So being that familiar with Oakley, if they contact Randy, then he can steer them to that truck and say, yeah, that spec-wise, that'll work for you.
And that's why we, even as recruiters, we refer guys to Randy, to you guys, because y'all know our specs, you know, whether it's a hopper division, pneumatic division, or dump division. So that's what, if you call Randy and ask him about a truck, that's one of the first things he's going to ask you is what division are you going into at Oakley, or what division are you in, because he knows we have some weight restrictions and stuff like that on trucks. So that's... And the guy out in wherever, MHC, where he don't know that.
That's right.
Because we don't have relationships with all them. We just got the one right here in Little Rock. I know you said the financing was tightening up a little bit on trucks. And, that doesn't make sense. You would think when there's an abundance of used trucks, that's when they need to be loosening up.
Well, I think,
sell some of them.
Yeah, and I think some of them are going away a little bit,
Are they?
Yeah. So, which you can look at that one of two ways, So you can look at it, I don't have as many options as I did before, or, everybody else that's left out there has got more options to get competitive.
We got a lot of guys buying brand new trucks. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I guess, it's always the fear of the new emission stuff, but just working at Oakley and talking to our owner operators, they seem to have gotten a better handle on a lot of those problems. It seems like they're kind of getting in the past now, We've
learned a lot about these emission engines.
The 2010 product was the tough one to get over. And, then just by default, it went into agricultural, industrial, marine engines, all that. You can't have that many engineers working on a problem and not make some improvement. So just by default, the product got better. And then there was a lot more information that became available. At first, it was basically a mechanical engine. They would fire it up, put it on a dyno, and run it till it blew up. And if it lasted long enough, they'd put it out to the public. Well, now with the after treatment, the emissions, altitude, temperature, barometric pressure, that used to be rocket science stuff. Well, that's truck stuff now, and so that all has a bearing on it, on where a truck goes and idle time and all that stuff. And so they have come a long way. The dealerships have come a long way. When the product first came out, frankly, the dealerships were having to learn it too. We've got a lot more resources now as far as factory support on it. a lot of plans in place that
I bet you have to do a lot of training, don't you?
we do a ton of training. And the other thing that they've got systems available now. It used to be a truck comes in and you have a troubleshooting procedure to go through. Well, now it's all computer based on symptoms and the most common failure for those symptoms. So it's gotten a lot more rifle approach instead of the shotgun approach. It used to be you just checked 17 items if a customer had a complaint on it. Right. Now you zoom in on it and you can get to it a lot quicker. You can get resources from the factory to help you out on it. It's still a complicated piece of equipment. You can still work hard and plow crooked and not get it right, you know. But more times than not, we're much better equipped at handling that. Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to put you on the spot here.
All right.
Master serviceman here, knows everything about, sees all these trucks breaking down. If you was going to buy a truck today, what would you buy?
Okay. Well, if I was going to buy a truck today, first it'd have to be a Kenworth.
That's easy.
That's easy. That aside, if you're going to buy a used truck, two things here. If you're going to buy a used truck, the more informed you are about that product, the better. And by that, I mean, what's the history on that? Can you get any records on it? So much more now than before. DPF cleaning, the how often those intervals were done as far as based on idle time on the vehicle. You don't want to put yourself in a situation to where you get in a truck and you're making any assumptions on it.
So can y'all get the history on the truck?
Depends on the truck. Now, there's a couple different ways to go about this. Engine serial numbers, we can see a history on a truck as far as any warranty claims that were filed on it, on an engine, on a Cummins or a PACCAR engine. If there's been work done in MHC, we can do that. Typically on the trade packages that Todd was referring to, that's part of the deal. Okay, they want to know what the history is on those trucks because they've got, if you're trading in 50 trucks or 100 trucks or 200 or whatever, you've got to have some information to give to the next user to make them pick that truck. So we can dig into that. That would be my recommendation on the used equipment is just do something to help yourself as far as understanding what the emissions maintenance history was on that vehicle. That way you're not starting off with something that is just about to fail.
Right.
Right? Because I've heard that. I've seen that happen where a customer will buy a truck somewhere, first trip out, and it winds up in our shop. And they barely got in the thing.
Yeah, you're talking about frustrating.
Right. Yeah, and frankly, they're frustrated. Their family's frustrated. This
their
is
company's
bad.
frustrated.
Yes. And the phone lights up like a Christmas tree and everybody's mad. So in hindsight, after you sit down with them and then you start looking into some history on a vehicle and trying to make some phone calls wherever they purchased it and say, what do you know about this or anything? Then sometimes you uncover some stuff. So used equipment, always ask a lot of questions on it.
History, got it.
Yeah.
I would recommend one other thing, Mike, on purchasing and particularly a used vehicle. We offer extended warranties. And it's an aftermarket warranty. Premium 2000 is who we use for the most part. And that's just some protection for the guy that's buying the truck.
Yeah.
And one repair could pay for that whole warranty price that you just paid.
But can you put that on every truck you sell?
We can.
Oh, really?
We can.
Okay.
And so when it comes to the new truck side, the manufacturers offer the extended warranty. And so that's as simple as the Premium 2000. It's just a different way of doing it. But no matter what brand of used truck that I sell, we offer up extended warranty for that unit.
And any extended warranty they can purchase now, frankly, makes sense. Okay. Again, I'm dating myself, but back in the day, extended warranties typically covered things that didn't fail. Block castings, water pump housings. Those were things that just didn't fail but now, if you can purchase after treatment emissions, extended warranty, or just extended warranty in general on the engines, you're in a lot better shape. But the thing, you got to educate yourself. Used to be customers would look at an owner's manual when they purchased a truck and they needed to set the radio, kind of like in your car. That's the only time he pulled it out. Or when do I change my oil? There's a whole lot more information now that the customer, again, they need to partner up with somebody.
Warranties that's a whole nother episode.
It is. It is.
We could have a whole nother episode on warranties and what they cover and what they don't cover. And that I know y'all got some stories on that. Also, we've touched base on a lot of different things here that I think we could dive into on later episodes. If you guys want to come back and do some and maybe think of some things that we can talk about, and we'll get some feedback from our owner operators too on what they want to know, and whether it's buying. I like that conversation of buying used trucks or new trucks, because we encourage everybody to buy a new truck. Well, that's not in everybody's budget.
Yep, right.
So you got to have a good used truck, and you got to get it from good people like you guys. So, man, I appreciate y'all hanging out with me and doing this. This is some good information for our owner operators to listen to and their families, and to make good decisions on it. And one other thing I made me a note here, and I was thinking this is, you guys provide, when we were doing orientation, you guys provided lunch every Wednesday over at Corky's, and I really appreciate y'all doing that. That just has made a big difference in MHC communicating with Oakley owner operators and actually sitting down at a table and having some lunch and visiting with us. And that just that goes a long way. I'll be glad when we can crank it back up.
Yeah, us too.
It's just a really good gesture from you guys to.
Well, it goes both ways. It's good for us too. We love getting to know the drivers, love getting to know your team over here, and it's really just helped with the relationship.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it. All right, well, guys, I appreciate everybody listening. I want to say this every time, but please share this with all our owner-operators. If you are talking to some of them out there and they hadn't heard of this podcast, tell them about it. We, this is a platform that we're going to communicate with you guys from here on out, and I hope it's good for you, and I just encourage you to share the information with everybody and get the word out there on the Oakley podcast. Trucking, business, and family, and we love it here. Thank you guys for coming in, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Oakley Podcast, Trucking, Business, and Family. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to rate or review the show in the podcast platform of your choice and share it with a friend. We love hearing from our audience, so if you've got a question, comment, or just want to say hello, head over to our website, theoakleypodcast.com, and click the Leave a Comment button. We'll get you a response soon and may even share some of the best ones here on the show. We'll be back with a fresh episode very soon. Thanks for listening.